Normal glasses work just fine until this new invention will make you want to throw your old glasses in the trash. This new invention is the wiper glasses. These things are fully motorized so that at a flick of a switch, the wipers will activate and your glasses will be wiped off. And when all of the water is wiped away, you just flick the switch off and the glasses have great visibility going out. So ditch your old glasses today in favor of the wiper glasses. Alright, for this build you're going to need these 3D printed parts. The link will be in the description for the files. You're going to need 6 of these screws, Phillips or flathead, 2 nuts that will fit these screws, and 2 that are slightly larger. For electronics, you will need a servo motor and a switch. And for the tools, you're going to need electrical tape, small screwdriver, large screwdriver, and scissors. Let's get started. To start, you're going to need to modify the servo motor because it has an encoder inside to tell it where it is, and that's basically what a servo motor is, but we need to take that out so this can just run continuously off of these two. So let's just take it apart. Quick side note, to get these small screws out, use the small screwdriver, and once those are off, the back cover should just, the top cover should just pop off, and you should see these gears here, and now you just pop the bottom off. So I had already modified this, but if it's unmodified, the encoder would be right in this gap by the motor, so you just gotta peel that whole thing off, the circuit board and all, and then rewire the wires directly to the motor. Alright, now just repeat the steps in reverse to put it all back together, and you should have this modified servo motor. And you're also going to need this switch here. It's just got a circular attachment with this nut that'll screw it down, and then you just gotta wire up 2 wires to it. For the power source of this, we're just going to be using a standard AA battery, so let's assemble the frame. The first portion of the frame is this bracket that has where you would mount the servo motor, and so you would just take this thing, the one with a larger hole, and put it opposite of the side with the servo, and it should just snap in because it's a hole and a pin. Alright, now you just do the same for the other one, and then that frame is assembled. Now just take your switch and insert it into the larger hole on this side, and then just put on the washer and screw it down. Right now with that screwed in, it should be stable enough to where you can flip it and it doesn't wiggle at all. Now we're just going to install the motor. So the servo motor fits with the output downward, and you should be able to just screw each screw into their spot. Alright, now with the servo on, you're just going to want to pop this arm back off. Take these 2 wires and feed them through this little hole here. And then you can just pop the arm back onto the front back bracket, and these 2 wires should be nice and organized going down. Next, you're going to want to take one of the wires and wire it up to the switch. Just twist the wires together, and then you just want to take another piece of wire and twist it around to the other, and you do not want this one to be connected to the switch yet. Alright, now you can just go along with your electrical tape and kind of hold the wires to the front of the frame, just wrap them around a bit. Alright, once these are all taped and secured, you're going to want to come over back to where the switch is. You should have one wire coming from the servo motor and another one from the switch. This is where we're going to connect up the AA battery. So it doesn't matter which way your battery faces, I'll just determine which way your motor spins, which doesn't really affect the functionality of it. So now you're just going to take see a battery, wrap a little bit of electrical tape to hold down the wire on the terminal, and then just pull it tight so that it's connected. Yep, and then do the same for the second wire. Alright, now you're going to want to just put a piece of electrical tape to hold the battery in place. So just cut enough to go around the battery and the arm, and then just pull it tight. Alright, now that the battery is secure, we should be able to flick the switch on, and the motor starts, and then turn it off, and the motor will stop. The final part for the electronics is just taking a small piece of electrical tape and going over the terminals on the switch so that you don't have any arcs or anything like that. And now we can get on to the wipers. So I had already assembled the wipers, but all you need to do is take a nail, hammer it through this part. It should be big enough to where it can still freely rotate, and then through the bottom part as well, which should be a tighter fit. That way it stays in place. And then just snip off the end or cut it off with a hacksaw, and then you should have this. Now for putting this onto this, you're going to want to have this small hole right here on the same side as the servo. So to put this on, you're just going to take a small screw, and then you're going to take one of the loose fitting nuts. This will be used essentially as a washer, and then just screw it on to this hole right here in the frame. You just want to screw it on tight enough so that it doesn't have too much play, so that it doesn't like wobble this much around, but you don't want it too tight because then it cannot move freely. So you just want to find that sweet spot right there to where it can move freely and not have too much wiggle. And then you're just going to do that to the other side too. Alright, now with that attached, you should be able to move one and it'll move both. And then now we're just going to connect this to the arm. Alright, now for the connecting piece. I'm just going to use this paper clip. You want it to be about the length, just a little, about the length between these two arms. And you're just going to take it, do one bend like 90 degrees, move it down a little bit, do another bend opposite, so you get this kind of zigzag pattern, and then do that to the other side. Alright, now that that's done, you just want to put this side in the second to last hole on the servo, and then just kind of manipulate it around a little bit to get it into the wiper arms. Alright, so if this was done correctly, when you turn the switch on, it will spin continuously with the wiper blades moving back and forth, going across most of the glass.